Now here's some behavioral tips and tricks if you have a kid who's just completely against doing anything school related at home. You don't need to go crazy with Pinterest schedules or anything like that, but you need to let them know that, after we have breakfast and our walk, then we're going to sit down and we're going to do our schoolwork for a little bit. Hi guys, I'm Rachel from the Behavior Check-In. Just a little bit about me. I'm a special education teacher in Mississippi. I work with elementary age kids, and I absolutely love working with kids with ADHD and who are on the autism spectrum. That's kind of my little niche. Also, I am a mom of a child with ADHD, so I have a lot of practical experience as well as professional experience. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video to kind of help some of those parents who are at home struggling right now with trying to teach at home online with everything going on with COVID-19. So I wanted to share a few tips and strategies that I know professionally as a teacher, and also some strategies that I have used as a parent to kind of get our kids to do the work when they don't want to do it. It's really hard for those kids with ADHD and any child in general, honestly, to feel like they are doing work from home because they kind of compartmentalize school and home as two separate entities, I think, as most people do. But I wanted to stress the first thing that you always need to try to do is make sure that your child's social, emotional needs are being met. So how can you do that? Well, try to keep them on a routine as best as possible. I know in all these crazy times, it can be hard to do that, but try to make sure your child gets to bed at a consistent time every night. Also, when they get up in the morning, make sure that they have a breakfast that's not too sugary or processed. That'll be able to keep the brain sharp and ready to learn. After they do their breakfast, try to do something that you can do to help them get active in some way. I know some kids are more active than others. Not all ADHD looks alike. Not all autism looks alike. I would recommend doing something that they enjoy. It might be just a walk. I like to walk with our dogs in the morning and I take my kids with me. Or it might be something like going out and dribbling a basketball, running around the neighborhood, playing, doing a yoga video. All those things can be very helpful, getting the juices flowing and getting the activity out so you can sit down and learn. So the next thing that I would like to recommend that you can try is to make sure that you have a schedule. Now, this doesn't have to be all Pinteresty and perfect. It just needs to be a plan that your child is familiar with. ADHD children really need structure. It's very hard for them when everything's ambiguous. They don't really know what to expect, and it causes a lot of anxiety for them. So try to set it up that after you have your breakfast and you go and you do your physical activity, that you start your work. Now sit down with the child and look at the work, and always start with choices first. There's going to be a lot of stuff. They may have online learning paths that they have to do. They may have some Google Classroom activities that they have to do. Let them choose first which one they want to complete. And then after they complete that activity, then they can go ahead and have a break. Now, you know your child and how they come back from those breaks. So that could be like maybe they play some games online, maybe they go out and play, maybe they do a little craft, maybe they just sit and talk to you, whatever works best for your child, but give them that break. And then after that break, go ahead and start on the next activity. Now, it depends on the kid. Some kids' timers work really well because it's very cut and dry. So you can set a timer on your stove, on your cell phone, that when the timer goes off, we're going to go ahead and go into the next activity. Now, my advice to you is when you give them the breaks, don't give them the most preferred thing that they like to do. For instance, my son really likes Fortnite. So it would probably not be the best idea for me to go ahead and say you work and you do your first assignment and then you get to go do Fortnite for 20 minutes, because I'm going to have a really hard time getting him off of Fortnite. But maybe I can give him another activity he prefers to do, such as, playing with Legos or doing something on his tablet, an online learning game on his tablet. That might be something that would be a better thing because I know I can get him back from that. And then use that Fortnite, since it's the most intense and desired reinforcer for him to be when he's completed all of his activities. And is that you don't stress. A lot of the teachers in schools have set this up so that you can do this in little chunks. This online learning should not look like an 7-hour school day. It really should be no more than an hour or two a day for an elementary school kid tops. And that's really easy to break in chunks. these kids can get really overwhelmed, a lot like we would be if we walked into our garage and had to organize it. Sometimes we don't know where to start. So for these kids, you really have to be the adult and come in and kind of give them that opportunity on where they need to start and stop. The other thing is if your child's getting frustrated, don't get frustrated back with them. Behavior is communication, and if they're getting frustrated for a reason, not just because they're wanting to be a brat. That might be a time for a break. Now, if you're working from home, which I am too because I'm trying to teach, then your times might look different. For instance, my kids do not start their work until my work day is done. And that's just how it works in our house because I have lots of things to do. So after I have completed everything, then we go into their work routine. But it really just depends on how your work schedule is and what's best for your family. You just have to sit down and think about what's best. Lastly, encourage your child to be an active participant in how they do this. If you get their buy-in, you're more likely to get cooperation. So talk to them. Children are children, but they also can communicate their wants and needs, and they want those heard. So sit down with them and go, okay, how would this be better for you? And they can bring forth their ideas. You know, you might start the conversation with, I see that you get really stressed out. You don't want to do this. What's up? Tell me what's going on. And listen to them and then probe. Don't push them in the direction you want to go. Just probe and hear them out and then see if you can actively compromise onto something that might be enjoyable for both of you, that might work for both of you, an active plan. So those are just a few of my suggestions. If you have any more questions or you would like me to elaborate on anything, go ahead and just leave a comment down the bottom and I will try to get back with you as soon as I can to make another video. If you like this video, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the page for more tips and tricks that I'll be working to try to send to you. Have a great day. Happy learning.